Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there, and this is an interesting one.
It is. It is. We weren't anticipating doing another, but I thought this was just, you got to talk about this. Food giant JBS Food shuts down production after a cyber attack. How many cyber attacks have we had in recent times? It seems like we're talking about one just, every other day now.
Seems like there's like cyber attacks and there's, things falling apart and accidents happening quite often.
Yeah, barges getting stuck, bridges all of a sudden with, major components breaking.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We've had a lot of train derailments. Going back before that, there was an awful lot of planes just dropping out of the sky.
Yep.
Interesting times, for sure. So JBS Foods, a leading food company, largest meat producer globally, had to shut down production at multiple sites worldwide following a cyber attack. The incident impacted multiple JBS production facilities worldwide over the weekend, including those from the United States, Australia, and Canada. Imagine that. JBS is currently the world's largest beef and poultry producer and the second largest global pork producer, with operations in the United States, Australia, Canada, United Kingdom, and more.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, in other words, kind of like NATO countries, so to speak, eh?
Yeah, that's curious how that works, isn't it? It's just pure coincidence, I'm sure.
Yeah, that kind of goes along with those DEAGL numbers. So this company has a team of 245,000 employees around the world, serving an extensive portfolio of brands, including Swift, Pilgrim's Pride, Sierra, Moy Park, Fryboy, Primo, and Just Bear to customers from 190 countries on 6 continents. The attack was confirmed by Australian branch CEO. The Australian government has also been informed of the incidents, currently working with JBS to bring back online production facilities across the country. Technology they use goes to the heart of quality assurance of the beef they are processing. Australia's Agricultural Minister David Littleproud told ABC, "We need to make sure that we can get up and going to give confidence not just to consumers in Australia, but to our export markets. They're obviously working with law enforcement agencies here in Australia, and we're working in partnership with other countries to get to the bottom of this. Since it's a global attack, it's important not to speculate that it's emanated from any particular place. Not yet." JBS Australia's CEO, Brent Eastwood, also confirmed the attack on Monday, according to Beef Central. While there was no official statement regarding the attack when the article was published on any of JBS's websites or social media accounts, JBS Australia is expected to issue one later. So the nature of the attack remains unknown at the moment. There's no info on the nature of the cyber attack, but based on the attacker's choice to hit the company's systems over the weekend, there is a high chance that ransomware was involved. Now it hits me too. I mean, just think about like what's going on all across the U.S. this weekend. We could smell it in the campground.
Yep.
It's just there's burgers and steaks and all sorts of things grilling out there, poultry and pork as well. And some take this as just a big attack on meat, but and the attempt to turn everybody into vegans. But there's something much bigger going on here, and it's not carbon-based emissions either.
Right.
I mean, all this stuff that they sell us as top priority is never the top priority. There's always other things going on behind the surface. Like, well, what do they want people to eat? Do they want people to eat, period?
Yep.
The way things are going right now, that's a big question. And, we've had so many of you guys reaching out to us with tons of suggestions on things. And, we've had our own issues, with basically living out of a 100 square foot RV, and trying to go through the normal practice of getting a mortgage, et cetera, et cetera. There's powers that be. There's forces out there right now that are, in my opinion, setting the stage for a grand herding event.
Yes.
And that's what the guides have been telling me all the time. You know, this is basically prelude to the big herding. And, you know, of course, we know these different agendas out there with the different numbers. And of course, 2030 comes to mind. And that whole plan for basically putting people into mega cities where you're going to be in your, you know, who knows what it is burger.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know, that you'll be happy with. You know, Soylent Green is people.
Oh, no.
You know, I mean, where are we going with all this? Obviously, we have hyperinflation around the corner. We have the yuan going up in value while the dollar is plummeting, so much so that the fine dining ware country doesn't seem to be prepared for that switch to yuan dominance, that they're buying up dollars to prop up the dollar right now because, you know, they still want people to buy their goods. When countries go into that war mode, which, you know, from what we are getting is still perhaps it could be a year away, somewhere in that range before things really break out, but things could break out any time. You know, you have these incursions into Taiwanese airspace by Chinese fighters on a regular basis, and Russia and US doing that same thing, the poking and the prodding all the time. And then, of course, we have what's going on in the West Bank and Israel, and then, of course, Syria. You could add Afghanistan. You could talk about the Iranian ships that are going to port in Venezuela. It's most definitely a fine mess.
Oh, yeah. It's a hot mess.
Yes, it is. And at any moment, things can get hotter. Mm-hmm. And here we see Intel CEO says semiconductor shortage could last a couple of years. My bet is that's going to last until the conflict is in full swing out in the open, and no longer just covert acts of what, you know, I think a lot of us, if I'm going to speak bluntly, think that there's an awful lot of sabotage going on out there.
Oh, most definitely. You know, that's why we come on here and we try to put the information out there, but then give the real background on things so that people start to wake up and understand that things are not as you think.
Nope. I was going to share with you guys something a little bit personal right here. We have the ultimate secret weapon. The ultimate secret weapon that could conquer the world. Feed Zeke wet food.
Oh my
because
gosh.
We ran out of dry food, and usually, you know, when things are good, I'll actually make his meals from scratch, using all natural ingredients. But anyway, right now, you know, we could talk about planetary problems going on, but Zeke's got some issues
in
going right now.
100 square foot camper, guys. This is just grand.
A little bit too much to share there, huh? TMI. TMI.
Oversharing.
By the way, Russia's going to marshal 20 new military formations armed with the latest weaponry. And I got to wonder what that looks like. I mean, we've heard of Russia building an AI drone army. Will we see it deployed? 20 new military formations. Are we going to be seeing lasers and who knows what else? This is in response to heightened NATO activity near its borders. Things are building up. There's no doubt about it. The action of our Western colleagues destroy the security system in the world and force us to take adequate countermeasures. Now, this is the defense minister over in Russia speaking. We're constantly improving the combat composition of our troops. By the end of the year, about 20 formations and military units will be set up. There's a massive buildup underway. That's the bottom line. There is a massive buildup underway right now. And by the way, the WHO is proposing to use Greek alphabet to label different CV19 strains so that we don't stigmatize countries with namesake variants. Isn't that nice of them?
Aw, sweet. Thoughtful.
What would we do without these agencies like the WHO, the CDC, the UN? What would we ever do?
We'd be lost.
We might have actually a new system. Perhaps it would be one that's actually planet friendly,
Perhaps,
so to speak, and maybe friendly to humans and every life form on it. Thank you guys so much for being part of the family. Thanks for your support on Ko-Fi and Patreon. We couldn't do it without you. Make sure you're subscribed to both channels with the little bell clicked, and thumbs up if you thought this is informative. As always, guys, stay prepared out there. Keep the vibes high. Be alert, be awake, but no fear. Ultimately, good changes will be here.
Yes, they will.
God bless and namaste.
Namaste.